Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew. Yeah, we are on the red light. Let me change that. We got the green light on. let me see if I can find a better light for this particular video. I think we will go with maybe not. Yeah, let's go with the blue. Let's go with the blue for this video. I like the new lighting system. It's pretty cool. It does kind of like make it like a, I don't know, dude. Is blue light? Maybe we'll just stick with the green, guys. I think we'll just stick with the green. It's probably a little bit easier on your eyes. Okay. So I pulled you here today to talk about the Fanatec DD Pro. I've made some comments recently about this overall setup, that it hasn't been good for the money that I paid for it. So, how do I say this? With the Fanatec experience, guys, there's a lot more to do with this setup than you know, the average, you know, like person just coming to sim racing, or just barely. I mean, say you get yourself, you know, like a tax return. You're like, yeah, I want to buy a Fanatec because everybody's got them. Fanatec makes one hell of a premium product, and I figured out how to fix this today. There are some inconveniences of it, but once you get this thing set up to a point where like it feels good, and where it feels where you can be a lot more competitive, and you have, oh man. So I'd sat there. I've had this thing almost, you know, well, pretty much since what, January? Well, did I get it in January? No, maybe like February or something. I got it, you know, maybe February, March, maybe March. I got it, you know, in the early part of the year, and I'd already, you know, had Camus. I had been using the Camus setup for a couple of months by that point, and Camus out of the box, 100% is a solid experience. Like it, and I still do prefer Camus on these WRC games, at least for now. I've gotten this set up to where it's getting closer. But I didn't have to like really get online and try to like copy paste somebody's settings. No, like I still have found my own settings for this, but at the same time, it's one of those things where with Fanatec, man, like you can keep tinkering and playing with settings, because there's just so many of them. There's so many that you can, especially when you're on PC, you know, you've got access to get in there and like read what each setting does and stuff like that. And I had been like tinkering with stuff in the menu for the Fanatec itself, as well as playing around with in-game settings, and I got a couple of settings messed up. Now there's a couple of settings in the Fanatec software that are 100% like you do that to the base, and it's something that's going to stick with the base no matter what game you're playing, and that's pretty much like with the Camus, you know. It like I've always been saying with the Camus, hey man, it's just a consistent experience across the board. I've literally been on this thing all day long trying to figure this out, because I've got a lot of racing games coming up, and you know, if the Fanatec's not, if the Camus doesn't have support for those at launch, I have no choice but to pull out the Fanatec. And so I needed to sit here and play with this today, and I needed to figure this out. Like, it's almost 9 o'clock at night, and that's me sitting here playing with things. I took my freaking whole wheel apart. I took the other wheel apart. I took things apart today, like literally getting in there and trying to find out what was giving me that freaking atrocious knocking. Like it was so bad. It was like you would turn a corner and it would rattle, shake and it like knocked real hard and stuff, and it was starting to get annoying. Well, the first thing that you're gonna find out, like when you buy one of these actual freaking when you buy one of these actual higher quality wheels that come with the metal with the aluminum metal freaking quick release, you're gonna have like a little set screw that you're gonna be able to stick in there. That's gonna be underneath, directly underneath where the keyway slots in. It's going to be directly under that. Now, I did not notice that until I have the wheel off and I was taking everything apart and I was I was checking out, like adjusting my paddle shifters, stuff like that, with this bigger rim with the R330. You're going to want to, move those out just a little bit. So I got into the box and I was sitting there, I was reading the freaking instructions, all kinds of stuff. and I noticed the one screw that didn't look like any of the other ones, and then I noticed underneath the thing, I was like, oh my gosh. So I put that on there. That there will stop your wheel. Like when you turn your wheel and you have your force feedback all the way up, it'll stop your wheel from like twitching, because when you've got the 8 Newton meters on here, it is enough to shift the base inside there. It is enough to shift, the thing from side to side in the keyway to make it noisy, and you'll get like a click sound, like a pretty annoying click sound, and it'll kind of feel like the wheel is kind of shifting when it's not supposed to be. So once you put that in there, that completely gets rid of that problem, and it stabilizes. It'll stabilize your shaft and your wheel and your quick release, and make that a much better experience for you for that. But there's also settings inside the actual for at least the PC. I believe there was 3 of them. One of them is going to is gonna adjust your wheel from like if you turn it way down, then your wheel is gonna oscillate a lot, and it's gonna give you that clunking sound that I found. Now I adjusted these one at a time. I was going back and forth from Xbox, PlayStation, and PC trying to figure this out, because when I would hook this wheel up to like the Xbox or the PlayStation and play the same game, that's why we're doing WRC 10 right now, because this was the one I had the most significant problem with. And the reason why we're playing this, so you guys can hear the wheel's quiet. Like you're not hearing it like shudder and clunk around and all of that stuff. So it was one of those things where I was like, okay, yeah, this is the thing, because I was playing this on the PlayStation, with the with the same rim right here, the R330. I can use this on all 3 of them, but I cannot use the little plastic GT rim that came with it, which that one there didn't have the knock on any one of them. Like even on this game on the PC. So tracking down this issue, man, is so annoying. And when you're not new, but when you're new to like something like this, guys, and that's why I'm a man of my word. Like I will always come back if I get it wrong on a product. I will always come back, and I will always let you know exactly what the freak was causing the problem, and why I was having an issue with that. I do believe that I don't necessarily owe Fanatec an apology. I mean, it's kind of like you shouldn't. The same thing with other products. You shouldn't have to watch. Like you should not have to sit there all day long trying to figure something out. But in a way, I mean, like I guess you shouldn't have to. But if you got to start somewhere. Basically, you have got to start somewhere. Your first experience with a product could potentially be bad. And see, is what happened was Camus got to me first. They sent me that product. So what I was doing and why I was messing up. This is the moral of today's story. The reason why I was messing up so bad with the Fanatec, and why I was never being able to figure it out, or getting it, or just getting frustrated and being like whatever, and just putting it away and not worrying about it, is because in my mind, the Camus experience is absolutely incredible. So I'm feeling like, all right, man, yeah, Camus is such an amazing wheel, and this thing is so good, and I want the Fanatec to feel like the Camus. That was the whole reason why I was unable to figure this out and fix this and make this a good experience on its own, is because I was comparing it to something else, and I was expecting to get an experience out of that is just not going to happen on the Fanatec. You're going to get a different experience. The experience is going to be better in some ways, and it's going to be, and it's not going to be as good in some. So what I've found with this new experience with the Fanatec, now that I've got it to where it's like where it's good and it feels dang good. It's one of those things where like you can fine tune this experience really, really nice to where, like right now, like driving through these roads and stuff, unlike the Camus, on the Camus, in my opinion, it feels like you're really driving down a gravel road. Like you've got like when you turn your wheel and stuff like that, it feels good. But with the Fanatec, so is what you can do, and I think this is why a lot of people are like, dude, Fanatec is the best, blah, 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 is because you can adjust this Fanatec to like literally make it feel like like right now on this dirt, I feel like I'm driving on tarmac. It feels like I'm driving on tarmac. Like you can adjust this settings and adjust this wheel to make it feel like you are, like you're driving on tarmac, but on the and you still get the satisfying slide. You still get the satisfying slide like you would be on like tarmac or something, or no, like you're still on gravel. You still get the satisfying slide, but you also get the feeling and the you get the feeling that you're on tarmac. Like you feel like you're on tarmac, like you feel the tires, like you feel the grip, and when you're on freaking gravel, you're not gonna feel tarmac type grip. Like you're not gonna feel that. You're not gonna feel like you're not gonna feel that grip. Like it is slippery. It's almost like driving in snow and stuff. Like you're not feeling grip, and that's the thing. With the Fanatec, you can make it feel like you have like grip, and it feels good, but you still get the satisfying sliding, you still get the satisfying braking, you still get the satisfying jumping, stuff like that. But at the same time, you are like the suspension on this car now feels like real stiff, whereas on the Camus, it feels more like a soft, bouncy type of like your suspension feels more bouncy and stuff. So it kind of feels a little bit cooler when you're coming off a jump, and when you hit like something like this, like your tires will hit the ground and you'll feel like the tire thing kind of pull down and stuff. Whereas on this, it just feels like a super stiff suspension. So it kind of it just feels different. And that's the thing. Like that's why I feel like a lot of people can be like, oh yeah, dude, Fanatec is the best. Fanatec is incredible. Nothing can touch it. It's because you can make any one of these experiences, like any of these things. Like you just saw that. Like we'll go over here and we'll go to. I like this track, but we'll show you how it like feels. Like you feel like the feeling that you can get and the consistency that you can get with the Fanatec across different types of between gravel and tarmac and all of that stuff. Now that once you get it set up to a point where like you can do this stuff, I will give you guys my settings. I'll take a picture of them, and that'll be like the thumbnail or something. I'll show you guys my Fanatec settings this is for WRC. because this is the game that was the most important for me to finally get fixed and figure out. So I'll get you the settings for this, and then if I get anything else for like Assetto Corsa or anything else like that, you'll get those settings as well. So you automatically just like boom, you're out of the gate. Like it feels pretty dang good. You know you're on. Like there is a little bit more grip on the tarmac. You can obviously feel like the better grip or whatever. You know, it's not as slidey. Like I said, you know, you still got that like satisfying slide and stuff, but you also have more grip. Like you have feeling of grip on the tarmac or on the gravel, which you don't necessarily feel with the Camus, but it feels more realistic in my eyes. In my eyes, the Camus feels more realistic on the dirt. But now that I've figured out how to, you know, make the Fanatec just completely feel like a much different experience, I will continue to play around with that to try to find that medium to where I can still get my. I will still try to hunt for that Camus experience on the Fanatec, but I don't know, man. I kind of like this experience too. I'm fine with either one now. You know, I can easily jump on here and play this and have fun with this, or I could just be on the Camus and enjoy that and just have, you know, two different experiences. Well, with the Camus, you know, you get like the really good you get like the good tarmac experience as well. But yeah, like I like. Ooh. I like how they both feel, how they both compare now. Like this is good. The overall contrast, you know, the way each one of these, you know, setups contrast each other. I think they're both worth having. Like seriously, like I think the Fanatec is probably going to. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some things about the Fanatec that kind of feel like a little bit cheap, but this is their cheaper model. You know what I mean? This is like the for everybody model. So I mean, I guess, you know, the corners and stuff that they cut and still being able to give you this type of an experience. Okay, yeah, like I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that. This is definitely, yeah, dude. If I would have had this experience out of the box, I think that things would have been a lot different with my overall attitude for it. I do get really busy, guys, and I just don't have a lot of time to sit here and try to. I mean, like this literally took me all day to figure out. But I've got so many games coming out that are racing that I have to have compatibility. So I have to have Fanatec working and I have to have Camus working. So it's one of those things where I had to devote the time, and so I sacrificed today to sit here and figure this out. And now that I've got it figured out, like this is a much better experience, much better, feels better than anything else, and it helped me fix another problem, man, that I was having on the 4K on the LG OLED. There's like this with these OLEDs and stuff. There's like this like flicker that you get with like your VRR and stuff. So this TV here has G-Sync and VRR, but it also has FreeSync Premium. I didn't have FreeSync Premium enabled, so I was getting that flicker. But once I enabled it, the flicker went away, and I'm like, yay! So yeah, that was kind of cool, man. I killed two birds with one stone today. I've got the Fanatec working and feeling incredible and not being all clunky no more. This definitely feels a lot smoother, a lot better. I just kind of feel bad, you know, because I was. I just kind of feel bad that I didn't, you know, that I hadn't been able to take the time to really set this up and give it a fair shake. Man, I do. And going forward, I will do my best to try to help people that want to get Fanatec or Camus. You know, there's no reason to like down talk Fanatec or anything like that, or down talk Camus, because I think they're both awesome. and I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to experience both. In terms of like price for this setup, I feel a lot better with it now. But you are going to have to get this thing set up right. It's going to be it was a struggle bus, man. Like, seriously. I mean, like, the Camus was my first freaking experience with direct drive wheel, so I didn't really, and that just felt good, consistent across the board with everything. So I was like, ooh boy. So like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, but it's a good thing, you know, that I decided to take the time to figure this out today. So, all right, I'm gonna finish this one. You guys are getting a little bit longer video today. I apologize for that. But I feel like the time that I put into figuring this out is worth it. So I can't stress that enough, my friends. If you're gonna buy something like a Fanatec, obviously Fanatec is one of the better brands out there. They make a lot of this stuff, so obviously they know what they're doing. Some freaking dude like me that's just an armchair freaking, you know, weekend warrior sim racer or whatever, coming to the table and being frustrated because my new toy don't work out of the box. There is that professional feeling that you get when you do figure it out. That like, wow, man, this thing is really built for like this thing is built for the pros. You know, like you can definitely set this up to a point where, oh my gosh, this turn. Come on, Dudski. Oh no. I've badly got to get a freaking, I've got to get an e-brake mod. I have to. I'm just going to buy one. I'm going to get one. Oh, I have to. Oh boy. So yeah, like being able to actually set this up and like fine tune it has been a very, very interesting experience today. I've got this thing to where like my overall steering and stuff, like it just feels like I got grip even on gravel. That's incredible. That's incredible, man. Like to feel like you've got grip, like on a freaking, like on the tarmac. I get why people are like, oh yeah, man, raving lunatics about Fanatec. Because once you get this bad boy set up, yeah. And I thought I had it set up before, but I don't know. Like I was playing around with it on something, and it felt really good on that game, but then it feels really good on Assetto Corsa Competizione, and it feels really good on Dirt Rally 2.0. So I came away with that being happy and excited and satisfied, and pretty much just feeling like, yeah, I'll just play only those two games with it, to now being able to play my WRC games from Kiloton. Very happy now, because this is the experience that I wanted to have. I mean, it kind of feels like cheating a little bit because I feel like I've got grip on those on those freaking gravel stages, but at the same time, dude, like I'm like a couple minutes behind the top leaders, and now I know why. Now it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like those guys are running around with grip, and I'm sliding around. I'm sliding around with the real experience, with the more realistic experience on the Camus, and these guys are flying by me on these little Fanatec wheels because they got grip. So if you want a wheel that will help you be a cheater, not a cheater, but help you be more competitive, yeah, dude, this Fanatec's awesome. So, all right, my friends, thank you guys for watching this. I'll see you guys in the next one. I really do appreciate you guys being here and supporting the channel. So, thank you guys.